Hey everyone, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel. Do you ever feel like sometimes you hear voices but you can't determine where they're coming from? And it's not like a ghost thing, it's people talking. I hear it and I don't know where it's coming from. I'm the only one home. I don't see anybody outside. I don't know. Anyway, that was weird. Today I want to do a wrap up of the first half of my most excited to read TBR. You guys, I picked those 5 books. They were the ones that my gut was like, yes, you really want to read that. Some of them have been hyped up in the bookish community. Some of them were just hyped up by me, my own personal hype. That I just thought that I would really enjoy that particular book. So this is just going to be a determination of whether or not I should have been as excited about them as I was. Because the answer for some of them was no. But we're not shocked about that. This is almost akin to my 5-star prediction, although I didn't go into this thinking that every book was going to be a 5-star. It was just literally 10 books that I couldn't wait to read. And I wanted to prioritize books that I couldn't wait to read because I feel like I don't prioritize them. I feel like I put them off, and I kind of don't know why I do that, and I wanted to try it the opposite way. So let's see. The first book, I chose this because it was my favorite first sentence. It's Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. The first sentence, and this is the first sentence of the prologue. I don't know if it's cheating or not, but it is it is important when killing a nun to ensure that you bring an army of sufficient size. For Sister Thorn at the Sweet Mercy Convent, Lano Tassis brought 200 men. That's 2 sentences, but still it was a great opening. And I was really excited to read Red Sister. This is one that's gotten a lot of buzz all over the place, particularly on BookTube, and it did not live up to the hype for me. It was sort of very middle of the road. There were things I liked, things I didn't like. I'm not going to go into all of it because I did a full review on my channel. So you can just go and watch that if you kind of want a more in the middle take. Most reviews I've seen have been very gushing and glowing. So I know a lot of people like it, but if you want something that's a little bit not that, then my review can maybe help you out there. So yeah, it was the first half was good, the last half slowed down. It took me the longest to read this book out of any of the 5 by a lot. So sadly, it wasn't super great, and I do kind of want to read the second book, but also I don't. I don't know if I'm ever going to force myself to do it, because it'll feel like forcing myself at this point. We'll see. Then I picked up straight romance, and that is the Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. When I actually asked people what they wanted me to read first on Instagram, this is the book that almost everyone chose. This has been, again, just sort of beloved in the circles of people who enjoy romance, and it is delightful. I think that what I expected to get out of this book, I absolutely got out of this book. It's about a girl who is on the spectrum. She is autistic. She has struggled with intimacy and things in her life, and she wants to be able to have a sexual relationship and a romantic relationship, but she thinks she's no good at those things, so she basically hires a male escort, Michael, to help her, teach her. And of course, as all of these books go, they fall in love and there's a happily ever after. That's just how romance works. And so this book has a lot of sex. I want to say that up front. If you are looking for a book with a lot of good sexy times, this is your friend. Some people have been really turned off by that, so I did want to put that out there. So either you enjoy sex in a book or you don't. I think the sex in here is done really well, if that helps any. I think the character is really great. Stella as a main character just totally won my heart. She's my favorite part of this book. If I have criticism, it is that some of the miscommunication stuff at the end for people around 30 was a little bit of a stretch for me, and I would have maybe liked them to have a couple of conversations, long conversations, just one-on-one, that didn't involve sex. They could keep all the sex. I just kind of maybe wanted a couple additional non-sexy times, deeper conversations that I didn't get. But all in all, this was a delight. I read it in like 2 days. So if this is a book you're interested in, absolutely go pick it up and read it. I read Nevermore next by Jessica Townsend, The Trials of Morgan Crow. This has been, again, sort of beloved all over the place. It's middle grade. It's been compared to Harry Potter, you guys. And so it's just an adventure story about a girl who's sort of destined to die, like on her 11th birthday, but instead gets swept away into this other land called Nevermore. She has to go through these trials to be able to join this like society school thing. So you can see how like the Harry Potter comparisons come out. I was excited about this. I think that my expectations were a little bit lower because when things are compared to Harry Potter, I immediately kind of worry more than get excited, I think. And this was okay. It didn't live up to the hype for me completely. It was fun. It was fast. But I think I think sometimes it could be a little bit plotting, just sort of slow. I didn't like the stuff that was kept from our main character, who Morgan is in the title. I'm dumb. Yeah, I didn't like that some of the stuff was kept from her and she didn't really kind of know things like the adults. I just sometimes get really annoyed at the adults in these books, and so the adults in this book annoyed me. And I kind of felt like the big bad, like I just don't understand it enough. And I wish she'd had like a really good female friend, I think too, that her closest friends were all boys. That sort of bothered me. But people love it, so don't just listen to me whine. This was good, it just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, that's all. Then I went the historical fiction route and read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've seen this on BookTube a little bit, but I think most of the people I see talking about this aren't on BookTube. So this is about, it's fiction, but it is sort of based on that kind of old Hollywood lifestyle, and the author did think about certain actresses like Elizabeth Taylor when she was writing this. This book is about Evelyn Hugo. She went through the kind of the 50s and 60s and onward in Hollywood. She was the golden girl. She was Cuban born, but changed her name and dyed her hair and tried to sort of erase that part of herself. She is bisexual. And this is her recounting her 7 marriages and just her life to a reporter who she has specifically chosen to tell her story to, and why she's chosen her is also part of the plot and things that unravel. So yeah, this is so like gossipy and like it feels sort of sordid, but in the best way. It's very fast paced. There are lots of things I would love to have been fleshed out more, and this to be like a 400, 500 page. I mean, it was already almost 400, I guess, but like a really big tome of just the details of all these characters and these people in her lives, but that's not the story that's being told. She's hitting the highlights of these 7 marriages and kind of what they meant to her life and what they mean to her now, as she's like 79 years old in this book, and why she's telling this story. So a lot of kind of some of the details cut out, which makes it a really page-turning, what I would consider a great beach read. But yeah, it's not, you guys know, it's not going to change your life, but it is super fun and quite a palate cleanser. So yeah, if you have any interest in reading Evelyn Hugo, I think that you absolutely should. It lived up to the hype for me. I was surprised how much I liked this and how quickly I read this. Despite kind of knowing at the same time that I did have problems with it, I just didn't care about them because and the characters in this are despicable, like awful people. And I like that even better. So, it worked for me. It's worked for a lot of people. If you want to see if it works for you, I recommend it. That gets so weird now when I'm like recommending books. Like, I don't know, like maybe you like it, maybe you won't. Like, decide for yourself. but if you wanna, do it. And then I read a book, an advanced reader's copy of a book that does not come out until January, so I'm very sorry. But I'm going to talk about it here, and that is The Wicked King by Holly Black. So this is the follow-up to The Cruel Prince, which is right there. I read The Cruel Prince. I did a review on my channel earlier this year for it. I really liked it. I liked sort of the angry teenage female lead. I like how angry... Why do I always forget people's names? Jude. I like how angry Jude is. I liked the complexity of the world and how... I think what Holly Black does best is like create these sort of complex relationships between characters. Like, I loved the relationship between the sisters. I love the relationship between like them and their father/adopted father, also who murdered their parents. I liked the relationship between Jude and Carden. I like the relationship between the sea and the land. There's so many complex relationships going on here. And I think this book, for me, lived up to the hype. Not only that, but I think it's better than The Cruel Prince. So it's rare for me that a sequel surpasses the first book. I think this book has less world building to do and gets really into kind of the meat of things. And at the same time, it's not super fast paced. There's lots of slow moments, but I feel like I got to know everyone so much better, and I got to know the details of people in the world and the relationships so much better. And there was twists and things happened, and I think this one got out. Dark is sort of a hard way to describe this. I think things got, what's another word? Like, they got darker and like in complexity. This is just not slaughter everyone like crazy, like grimdark stuff, but no one's good, and people are betraying people and making really heartbreaking decisions, and I liked that. I don't know why, but all these people treating each other terribly, I really, really liked. And I read this quickly. I enjoyed this a lot. It's not a long book, and so if you're looking forward to this in January, I really hope you enjoy it, because I quite did. And that's it. So about half of them lived up to the hype, and about half of them didn't. That is not surprising. It's probably how I would have guessed it. And if you saw my last video, you know I've added 5 more books to the stack to intermix with my last 5 remaining fantasy picks. So yeah, I'm reading the first non-fantasy pick of that list right now, Queens of Geek. It's happening. And you guys, I'm also listening to other things like on audio, and I'm reading a different ebook. So there's lots of reading going on, and so you'll be hearing about lots more books soon. And yeah, so if you've read any of these and you think I'm crazy for my opinions, or if they lived up for the hype for you or they didn't, let me know down below, and I will talk to you guys next video.